Every god you have ever heard of in Norse myth is going to die. Odin, Thor, Loki. And here is the part the stories will not let you look away from. They know it. They have always known it. They know the day. They know the wolf. They know which of them the wolf will swallow. And they march out to meet it anyway. This is Ragnarök, the death of the gods. The end of the world the Norse believed was already written. Stay to the end, and you will see the one thing the prophecy promised that no one expects. What crawls, green and breathing, out of the ashes. We know this story from two sources, written down in Iceland in the 13th century, the Poetic Edda and Snorri Sturluson's Prose Edda. In the oldest of them, a poem called the Völuspá, a dead seeress is raised from her grave before Odin himself and forced to speak what she sees coming. She does not speak of a battle the gods might win. She speaks of an ending, theirs and ours. It begins not with fire, but with grief. The brightest of the gods was Baldr, Odin's son, so beloved that the whole world had sworn an oath never to harm him. And through the scheming of Loki, he is killed anyway, struck down by the one thing that never took the oath. With Baldr dead, the gods drag Loki into the dark and bind him beneath the earth. But the light has already gone out of the world, and the bonds that hold the universe together begin one by one to fail. First comes the winter. The Norse called it Fimbulwinter, the mighty winter. 3 winters in a row, with no summer between them. Snow drives in from every direction, and the sun gives no warmth at all. And as the cold deepens, something worse than cold sets in. Men turn on each other. Brothers kill brothers for bread. Fathers and sons become strangers with knives. The old bonds of kin and oath dissolve. The Völuspá has a name for this age. An axe age, a sword age, an age of wolves, and it means that almost literally, because high in the sky, 2 wolves have been chasing the sun and the moon since the beginning of time, the children of a far greater wolf. For all of history they have run and never quite caught their prey. Now, at the end, they catch them. They swallow the sun. They swallow the moon. The stars come loose from the sky and go out, one by one, and the world goes black. Then the earth begins to shake. It shakes so violently that every chain, every fetter, every binding the gods ever made, snaps. And the things they imprisoned long ago, knowing this day would come, are free. Fenrir, the great wolf, the gods raised him among themselves, watched him grow and grew afraid. So they bound him with a ribbon forged by dwarves, soft as silk and stronger than iron. He has strained against it for an age. Now it falls away, and the Prose Edda tells us what he becomes. His lower jaw scrapes along the ground, his upper jaw touches the sky, and he would open them wider still if there were room. Fire spills from his eyes and his nostrils. Nothing living can stand in front of that mouth, and he is not alone. From the depths of the sea rises his sibling, Jörmungandr, the world-serpent, so vast that it once lay coiled around the entire earth, biting its own tail. Now it uncoils, it thrashes onto the land, and it spits venom across the sea and the sky, and the oceans heave up off their beds and drown the coasts of the world. Now look to the sea. A ship is coming. Its name is Naglfar, and of everything in this story, it may be the most disturbing, because Naglfar is built from the untrimmed fingernails and toenails of the dead. It has been under construction since the beginning of time, growing plank by plank with every corpse that goes into the earth ungroomed. The Norse believed it so completely that they trimmed the nails of their dead, to starve the ship of timber and hold back the end of the world a little longer. Now, you will often hear that Loki captains this ship, but that is not quite what the text says. In Snorri's account, the helm of Naglfar is held by a frost giant named Hrym, sailing from the east. Loki comes too, but at the head of a different host, the dead of hell and the monsters of the deep, freed at last from his chains beneath the ground. 2 enemies, 2 armies, sailing to the same field. We tell you the version the medieval Icelander actually wrote down, not the one the internet smoothed over, and then the sky itself splits open. From the south rides Surtr, a fire giant older than the gods, older than the world, swinging a sword that burns brighter than the sun. Behind him ride the sons of fire, a host out of the burning realm of Muspel. As they cross the rainbow bridge, Bifröst, the shimmering road the gods built between heaven and earth, it shatters under their weight and falls behind them in pieces. They are all riding to one place. A plain. The Norse called it Vigridr, the field of battle. The Prose Edda measures it 100 leagues in every direction, wide enough to hold the end of everything. On the far side, the watchman of the gods has seen them coming. Heimdall, the god who needs no sleep, who can hear grass grow and wool grow on the backs of sheep, lifts the great horn Gjallarhorn to his lips, and he blows. One long blast, rolling out across all the worlds. It is the sound the gods have dreaded since the beginning. It means it is time. And from the halls of the slain, the armies of the dead rise and march out behind Odin. Every warrior who ever fell in battle and was carried up to wait for this single day. They have trained for it since they died. They have always known it would come, then the battle. And the prophecy spares no one. Odin rides first. The All-Father, who gave an eye for one drink of wisdom, who hanged himself on the world tree for 9 nights to win the runes, who learned everything precisely so he would know how this ends, charges the wolf. And Fenrir opens that earth to sky mouth and swallows him whole. The wisest being in the universe, gone in an instant, knowing all along that it would happen exactly this way. But Odin had planned even for this. He had fathered a son for one purpose only, vengeance. Vidar, the silent god. He strides up to the wolf that ate his father, plants one boot on its lower jaw, a boot, the myth says, made for this one kick, grips the upper jaw in his hand and tears the great wolf apart. Odin is avenged. It changes nothing. The world is still ending. And there, Thor. Face to face at last with the world-serpent, the enemy he was born to fight, the two of them circling since the dawn of time, he swings the hammer Mjolnir and crushes the serpent's skull. Jörmungandr dies, and Thor, the strongest of them all, takes 9 steps from the body and falls, dead, drowned on dry land by the venom the serpent breathed over him as it died. 9 steps. The myth even counts them for you. One by one, the rest go down. Freyr, who long ago gave away his sword for love, meets the fire giant Surtr with no blade in his hand and falls. The one-handed god Tyr and the hound of the underworld, Garma, kill each other in the dark. And Loki and Heimdall, the watchman and the traitor, oldest of enemies, find each other in the chaos and run each other through and die together in the dirt of Vigridr. And then Surtr ends it. He raises that burning sword and flings fire across the whole of creation. The 9 realms catch, the world tree burns, the mountains burn, the sea boils. And the earth itself, scorched black and broken, sinks down, beneath the water. Darkness, silence, the end. But the seeress in the Völuspá is not finished, because both poems, the old one and Snorri's, say the same impossible thing. The earth rises again. Out of the sea, a second time, green, new, washed clean. Waterfalls fall from new mountains. An eagle hunts over the water, and a handful of gods are simply there, in the morning light, the sons of the dead ones sitting in the grass, talking quietly about everything that happened. And out of the dark land of the dead, walking back into the light, comes Baldr, the bright god, returned. The grief that started all of this, undone. And there is one more thing, 2 more things, because while the world burned, 2 people lived. A woman and a man, Líf and Lífthrasir, who hid deep in the wood of the world tree, drinking the morning dew, while fire took everything else. They come out into the dawn of the new world. And from those 2, all of humanity begins again. That is Ragnarök. Not in the end a story about dying. A story about how you face the dying. The Norse looked straight at a universe that was doomed, gods, sun, stars, all of it, and they did not flinch, and they did not beg, and they did not pretend it wasn't coming. They believed you meet the end with your weapon in your hand and your eyes open, knowing you cannot win. Because how you meet your fate is the one thing fate can never take from you. The old gods are not forgotten. Every god who died on that field has a story of how they got there. How Odin lost his eye. Why Loki turned against the gods who raised him. What Fenrir was before the chains. Subscribe, and we'll tell them all, one by one. The old gods are not forgotten.